In this video we're going to take a look at some general points to consider when installing a 4QD controller. Motor controllers are quite complex products and it's worth spending a little time thinking about some basics. First, water. Electronics and water really don't mix well. Our controllers are not IP rated, so you should take steps to prevent your controller getting wet. Yes, I know we offer a water resistant coating, but that really doesn't mean you should plan on getting it wet. Problems can arise from the spray off wheels, getting into the bottom end of the controller here, and water can run down or along chassis members. Another way that we see water getting into controllers is by running down cables like this. If you have to mount your controller like this, it's a good idea to put drip loops in the cable like this. The second area to look at is heat. Our controllers can handle pretty large currents, and although they are very efficient, these currents can still result in the controllers generating quite a bit of heat, and that heat needs to be managed away. It's a bit like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Higher currents pour heat into the heatsink faster. This then needs to escape via conduction or convection, and higher currents will need more cooling. Beware of mounting a controller directly on a non-metallic surface. Something like wood or plastic will insulate the heatsink and prevent cooling. If this must be done, then use spacers like this to provide an air gap to allow the air to circulate. It's better to mount the controller vertically like so that natural convection can take the heat away better. For higher power installations, consider using a PC type fan to blow the heat away. This can be wired into the parking brake socket so that it only comes on when the controller is running. Another thing to consider with heat is to paint the outside of the heatsink matte black. We have found that doing this can make the controller run 5 to 10 degrees cooler. Do make sure that the hot air has somewhere to go. Sealed compartments without adequate airflow can result in overheating. We've got some detailed suggestions on our website. Just type heat into our search bar. The last area to look at is motor noise suppression, also known as radio frequency interference. This is all about protecting the controller from the electrical noise generated by the sparks that can occur at the brushes of an electric motor. That noise can get into the circuits of the controller and make transistors turn on when they should be off, with catastrophic consequences for the controller. Without going into the maths involved, it's a bit like Russian roulette. You can get away without it for a day, a week, a month, maybe a year or two, but sooner or later the chamber with the bullet is going to line up. But noise suppression is easy to do. A capacitor fitted near the brushes of each motor, ferrite beads on each motor wire, and twist the motor wires together to prevent forming a loop antenna. Also think about the routing of the motor wires. These carry large currents which are being switched very quickly, and if they get too close to control wires or battery wires, then they can induce signals which can cause problems with the controller. It's best to keep the motor wires well away from any control wiring and the battery wires if possible. Lastly, think about any other relays or horns you may have in the system. These can produce large voltage spikes when they are operated. You should fit a catching diode like this to any relay or horn. Again, we've got articles on our website about this. Just type noise into our search bar.